2016. Security cameras catch a prison break, but it's not a person. It's an octopus named Inky. He lifts his tank lid, slides 8 feet across the floor, leaving a trail of slime like a crime scene, finds a drain pipe, squeezes his entire body, head, brain, organs, through a gap the size of a coffee mug. Gone, never to be found again. But here's the nightmare. Inky didn't panic. He planned this, because 2/3 of his brain lives in his arms, and those arms think for themselves. Imagine your hand plotting against you while you sleep. Now just imagine 8 more. And by the end of this video, you'll realize octopuses might be the smartest thing in the ocean that isn't actively trying to kill us yet. Quick test. Cut your hand off right now. What happens? Well, it dies, obviously, because your hand is just meat controlled by your brain. But you do the same thing to an octopus and it just keeps hunting. Researchers have tested this. A severed octopus arm, completely disconnected, will reach for food, grab prey, and try to bring it to a mouth that doesn't even exist anymore. That arm is dead, but it's still hunting. Why? Because each arm has 40 million neurons. That's more than in a hamster's entire brain. And those neurons make decisions without asking permission from headquarters. An octopus has over 500 million neurons in total, aka the same as a dog, but only 40 million are in the central brain. So where are the rest? They're distributed across 8 semi-independent killing machines. Your brain tells your hand, pick up that cup. Index finger here, thumb here, squeeze gently. But an octopus brain tells its arm what to do. Find food over there. And the arm says, all right, got it, boss, and figures everything else from there. The path, grip strength, whether to crush or squeeze. But wait, it gets more insane. The octopus brain wraps around its entire esophagus. So if it swallows something too big, it gets brain damage from eating. Evolution created an animal smart enough to use tools and escape locked tanks, then nerfed it by installing its brain in the worst possible location. It's like building a supercomputer and mounting it inside of a microwave. And yet these things are out here outthinking aquarium security, sabotaging equipment, and plotting escapes like they're in a heist movie. Speaking of which, octopus don't just solve problems, they commit crimes. Let's start with the coconut caper. Wild octopuses have been filmed carrying coconut shells across the ocean floor. Not to eat them, but to use them like portable armor. So here's the play. Find 2 coconut halves, pick them up, waddle across the seafloor like a drunk spider carrying groceries, stop, resemble the shells into a sphere, and hide inside. That's not instinct. That's understanding. That's thinking, this will protect me later. Let me keep that. And in labs, it gets even better. Researchers put crabs inside sealed jars, dropped them into octopus tanks, and the octopus unscrewed the lids from the outside. Twist, twist, pop. Dinner is served. One octopus figured it out so fast, they thought it was a fluke. So they added a second lid, and the octopus unscrewed both of them. They even tried making it harder. 3 lids, tighter threads. But the octopus didn't care. It unscrewed all 3 like it was playing a video game on easy mode. But the most wild example, the Saboteur, Germany. An aquarium kept losing power every single night. Lights flickering out, equipment shutting down. Staff thought it was an electrical problem. Security footage caught the octopus squirting water at the overhead lights until they short-circuited every single night. Not for food, not for survival, but out of pure spite. They moved the octopus to a different tank, problem solved. That animal woke up every single day and chose chaos. But Inky's a legend. His tank had a small gap in the lid, just wide enough for an arm. Most octopus would ignore it, but Inky spent weeks watching this hole, learning the guards' schedules, mapping the room, and then one night he made his move, lifted the lid, crawled out, crossed the floor completely exposed, and then found the drain pipe he'd been eyeing down, squeezing through it. Then he disappeared into the ocean. Staff reviewed the footage. Inky moved with purpose, no hesitation, no panic. He knew exactly where he was going. That's not luck. That's a planned heist. That's Ocean's 11 with 8 arms and 0 remorse. And here's the thing, stuff like this happens all the time. Aquariums literally have special protocols now. Weighted lids, locked hatches, and barriers. But that doesn't matter. Octopus have still been caught raiding neighboring tanks at night to eat the fish and then going back to their tank, opening child-proof bottles faster than most humans do, disassembling water pumps from the inside side just for fun and squeezing through gaps the size of a quarter. And yeah, that last one, that's nightmare fuel. Now let's talk about the octopus's most horrifying ability, becoming invisible. You've seen the videos. Octopus sitting on a rock, then it moves and you realize that it was there the whole time. But here's what's insane. They do this in 0.2 seconds. That's faster than you blink. Octopus skin has 3 layers. Chromatophores on top, aka pigment sacs that expand or contract, iridophores beneath, aka cells that reflect light for shimmer, and the papilla, aka muscular skin bumps they raise or lower to match texture. So they don't just change colors, they change shape, smooth to spiky, flat to rocky, in a fifth of a second. Researchers documented one octopus switching through 177 different patterns in a single dive. But here's the plot twist. Octopus are colorblind. They see the world in basic black and white. So how are they perfectly matching coral reefs in full color? Scientists think that they're seeing with their skin. Their chromatophores contain the same light-sensitive proteins that are in their eyes, meaning that their entire body is detecting wavelengths even though their brain isn't processing it as color. They're feeling the color without knowing what color even is. That's like if you could taste music without ever having to hear it. And they weaponize this fact. Here's the hunting sequence. An octopus camouflages as the seafloor, perfectly blended. Then a crab begins to walk by, doesn't see the predator that's 2 feet away from them. The octopus just waits, patiently and still. The crab gets closer, then bang, the octopus flashes bright colors right in the crab's face. The crab freezes in confusion, doesn't know which way to run, and then the octopus grabs it and it's game over. That's not just camouflage, that's psychological warfare. And it's not just for hunting, it's communication. When 2 octopus meet, they flash patterns. Dark stripes means back off, while pale colors mean I'm not a threat. Rapid flickering means I'm stressed, leave me alone. They're having full conversations with just their skin, not making a single sound. But camouflage does have one weakness. They can't hide while they move fast. So when a shark shows up, the octopus switches tactics. It hits the jets. Octopuses have a siphon, aka a muscular tube that blasts water for propulsion. When threatened, they point it backwards and rocket away at 25 miles an hour. But they don't just run straight, they zigzag. Then they'll release ink clouds as their decoys. They squeeze into cracks you wouldn't think a jellyfish could even fit through. Because octopuses have 0 bones. None. The only hard part of their entire body is their beak. So if the beak fits, the entire octopus can fit. There's footage of octopuses compressing their bodies and sliding through holes the size of a coin. It's like they're made of liquid, but they have a brain. And when they can't squeeze or run, they'll play dead. Researchers have tested this. When octopus feel cornered, they go completely limp. Some stop moving and stop breathing visibly, waiting for the threat to leave. Then they get up and resume plotting their escape. That's not instinct, that's deception. Now here's the part that should keep you up at night. Octopuses live 1 to 2 years. Then they die right after producing, and they don't teach their offspring anything. Every octopus is born alone, learns alone, and dies alone. No language, no culture, no passing down of knowledge. They're starting from scratch every single time, and they're still this smart. Right now, octopuses can use tools, solve puzzles faster than most mammals, deceive predators, plan escapes, sabotage equipment, and hunt using psychological warfare. All without any help. No parents, no teachers, just 8 arms, 500 million neurons, and pure problem-solving instinct. Now let's imagine, just for a second, what happens if evolution fixes their death timer? Scientists have ran the numbers. What if octopuses live for 10 years instead of 1? What if they could teach the next generation? The models suggest they'd start modifying their environments within 50 years, building structures, creating persistent tools, and maybe even primitive societies. Sound crazy? Well, crows already kind of do this. They pass down grudges against specific humans for generations. Octopuses are smarter than crows are. They just don't live long enough to weaponize it. But evolution doesn't care about fairness. It cares about survival. And climate change is forcing octopuses into new habitats. Warmer waters, different prey, new predators. Evolution moves fast in short-lived species. And some octopus populations are already showing adaptations, like longer lifespans in colder waters and different hunting strategies in degraded reefs. What if the next evolution evolutionary leap isn't bigger brains, it's longer lives. Picture this. The year is 2075. You're snorkeling in what used to be a healthy reef. Then you reach out to steady yourself on a rock, but the rock grabs back. Because it's not a rock, it's an octopus, and it's been watching you, learning your patterns, waiting. It doesn't attack. Octopuses rarely hurt humans, but it could, and it knows it. Now imagine that octopus is 15 years old. It's seen divers come and go. It's learned which boats mean danger. It's taught its offspring which humans to avoid and which to investigate. That's not science fiction. It seems more like an evolution clock. And right now, we're destroying their world before we even understand what they're capable of. Octopus populations in some region have dropped 30% in a decade. Not from hunting, from acidification, pollution, and habitat destruction. We're wiping out the ocean's smartest invertebrate, the only alien intelligence we've actually found. Do we let them disappear, or do we protect them long enough to see what they become? Because if octopus figure out longevity before we finish destroying their habitats, the ocean won't belong to us anymore. It'll belong to them. The octopus proves that intelligence doesn't need a spine, doesn't need fur, and doesn't even need to live past 2 years old. It just needs evolution, pressure, and time. And these escape artists with liquid bodies and thinking arms, they're not done evolving. Subscribe if you enjoyed this video and you learned something, and hit the like button if you enjoyed. Then comment your wildest theory, like what would happen if octopus had 50-year lifespans. And I highly recommend you to check out the link below. It's to support marine conservation before we lose Earth's only confirmed alien intelligence. The ocean's hiding something smarter than we think, and it's been watching us this whole time. Let's make sure it survives long enough to show us what it can really do. I appreciate all you guys for watching to the end, and I'll see you tomorrow.